Now on Denver 7 News at 4. More answers in a deadly street racing shooting, but the investigation is far from over.
We do know there's more information, possibly videos, cell phone information out there, and we welcome that.
How the quick action from the victim's wife saved the family from more loss.
From gas to groceries, you can't avoid many of the rising inflation costs right now. The other solutions besides raising interest rates that could be coming. And staffing shortages are making summer travel frustrating for many of us. The untapped pool of people that could help fill the gap for pilots.
Kadri! Where's the puck? How did that not go in? It did. He scores! Nazem Kadri!
Plus, inching that much closer to keeping the Stanley Cup in Denver. We take a look at the Avs' OT win against the Lightning. Thank you so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 4. I'm Jacqueline Allen. We have new details in the tragic shooting over Father's Day weekend that left a family without their father and an entire community demanding answers. We're getting some of those answers today as Aurora police hold a press conference with the biggest update that an arrest has been made. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon has been following this story from the beginning and joins us now live. Colette?
Yes, Aurora police say the victim was John Jaros, who was shot and killed when street racers stopped traffic along I-70 in the eastbound lanes in between Colfax and Tower exits. They've arrested a 20-year-old man, but first, I want to share more about Jaros, the victim. He was the assistant fire chief up at the Glen Haven Area Volunteer Fire Department. He was also a committee member of the Rooftop Rodeo in Estes Park. But beyond all of those titles, the one I'm told he was most proud of is being a family man. Now today up in the mountains there was a procession held for Jaros, who leaves behind a wife and 3 young kids. Tragically, they were all in the truck with him when everything happened. Now Aurora police say they have confirmed this was related to street racing when racers did stop traffic on 70. Investigators think John was only trying to go around the stopped cars when shots were fired into his truck, killing him. His wife and kids weren't hurt. His wife Katie was actually able to put the truck into neutral, steer it into the shoulder of 70, likely saving lives as she did so.
The strength that she demonstrated that particular day with everything that had happened inside that truck is admirable. I mean, she just really did a good job and prevented that vehicle from possibly going off the side of the road and rolling over.
This is the man police arrested. It's 20-year-old Jeremy Roca. They say the case really came together over the past 2 days thanks to witness interviews, which is why they were able to arrest Roca early this morning around 3 a.m. and execute search warrants. They couldn't say yet if they found the gun connected to the shooting. John's wife Katie sent a statement to police to read today, thanking them for making an arrest and hoping she can find forgiveness in her heart with time. She even asked for prayers for Roca. Now, this investigation is far from over. Police say if you know absolutely anything, they want you to contact them. It hasn't been handed over to the DA's office yet. There are links to donate to the Jaros family on thedenverchannel.com. Live in Aurora, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Thanks so much, Colette. Now in Boulder, a teenager has been charged with driving under the influence and 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. This is in connection to a crash that killed 2 people earlier this month. This crash happened back on April 9th near Foothills Parkway and Valmont Road in Northeast Boulder. The victims have been identified as a 33-year-old Orizioni and 49-year-old Gregoria Ramirez. Police are still working to identify who might have supplied the teenager with alcohol.
Oh, what a play! Colorado thinks this is in. I think it is in. We are looking.
It might have been a little confusing at the time, but the Avs pulled off an overtime win in Tampa. Final score 3-2, and the Avs are now just 1 win away from winning the Stanley Cup, even though it was not looking so good for the Avs in the first 2 periods. Take a look. 30 seconds into the first period, goalie Darcy Kemper's helmet was knocked off, and the Lightning scored the first goal. Early in the second, Gabe Landeskog and Nate McKinnon were able to tie it up with the power play. Now, by early third, it was tied again, 2-2, and a shot that ricocheted off Andrew Cogliano's leg. In overtime, this is the fun part, Nazem Kadri, who has not played since June 4th, was able to sneak in the winning goal. He has been out with a broken thumb, but picked quite a moment to make his comeback.
Roller coaster of emotions, just thinking I was done, and then having a sliver of hope, and sitting here right now it's kind of surreal. So I just was excited to join the team again and be in the dressing room. And, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life.
He's a hero. Now, there was a little controversy and heated emotion after the game. Lightning head coach John Cooper argued that goal should not have counted, claiming the Avs had too many men on the ice. But after further review, the NHL and the 4 officials in the game confirmed that was not the case. Now, since the Avs have a chance to win the whole thing tomorrow, that means the Stanley Cup will be in Ball Arena. The Stanley Cup Twitter account posting this after last night's game, saying, "I will be in the building on Friday." And if you want to be in the building, it's not going to be cheap. The cheapest seats on Ticketmaster are now about $1,400, and that is before processing and fees. And we all know those are steep. Denver 7 is your home for the Stanley Cup Final. You can watch Game 5 right here on Denver 7. Our coverage of tomorrow's Game 5 begins at 4:30 a.m. and our pregame show starts at 5:30 p.m. Puck drop at 6 o'clock sharp. Stay around after the game for our postgame show and Denver 7 News at 10. We are all over it. Today, the House Select Committee investigating January 6th turns its attention to former President Donald Trump and his alleged efforts to pressure the Justice Department to overturn the 2020 election. 3 former members of Trump's administration testified, saying they resisted numerous attempts to participate in a sweeping plan allegedly hatched by the former president and his inner circle to sow doubt in the results of the presidential election, and to pursue false claims of voter fraud.
Donald Trump didn't just want the Justice Department to investigate. He wanted the Justice Department to help legitimize his lies.
The president either called me or met with me virtually every day, with 1 or 2 exceptions like Christmas Day.
What I'm just asking you to do is just say it was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman.
Well, former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue says Trump was planning to push out then acting Attorney General Jeff Rosen and appoint top Justice Department official Jeff Clark instead. Clark was allegedly willing to support Trump's reported effort to use the department to undermine the election. Today is the final hearing for the month of June. The remaining 2 hearings that were scheduled are now postponed until mid-July, and additional dates could follow.
Starting the news feed, the FDA is investigating a new report of a baby's death after consuming baby formula from Abbott. Now, the agency says the child died back in January, but it received a report of the death earlier this month from a consumer's complaint. Abbott says currently there's no evidence to suggest a causal relationship between Abbott's formulas and the new case. Well, new COVID subvariants can escape antibodies from vaccinations and previous Omicron infections. That's according to a Harvard University study. BA4 and BA5 are the fastest spreading variants reported to date. Researchers say vaccination is still expected to give substantial protection against severe disease. The Biden administration is partnering with 11 East Coast governors to boost the growing offshore wind industry, a key element of Biden's climate change plan. He has a goal of deploying enough offshore wind power by 2030 to provide electricity to 10 million homes and support 77,000 jobs. Well, staffing shortages are creating headaches for travelers this summer, but there could be an untapped solution.
There are a lot of talented pilots out there that don't have the opportunity.
Who those pilots are and the efforts to get them trained.
The Stanley Cup Finals is bringing booming business to Denver. We take a look at how one restaurant is trying to keep up with demand by bringing in a non-sentient server.